Welcome back to another episode of the Rewind Rewatch podcast. My name is Joel.
And I'm Andrene.
And it's finally come, ladies and gentlemen. The time, the episode that you've all been waiting for.
Oh.
You've been waiting 50 episodes to get to episode 50.
49 episodes, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, they were waiting 49 episodes and a teaser promo.
Yes.
So that's technically... True. We're here. 50 episodes. We've made it.
We are here.
How's it feel?
It feels great. It feels absolutely fantastic. So I feel like at this point, we're maybe a year in. I think we're past our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, I feel like we did start. I mean, yeah, if we put out an episode every week, we'd definitely be past the year.
We started in January.
And I know we skipped a couple weeks during the summer or whatever. But yeah, this is episode 50. We're happy to keep this rocking and rolling. Shout out to everybody that's been listening, been sending us requests, sending comments, sending DMs, sending emails.
Death threats.
Not necessarily going to shout out the death threats. I was going to keep that a secret.
Just kidding.
Anyone who signed up for the Patreon. So shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us and keeping this thing rolling. All right.
Requested by? Want to
shout
them out?
So yeah, Office Space 1999 for episode 50. Who requested it?
We have 3 people who requested this film. We have Jenny.
Shout out to Jenny.
Latrell.
Shout out to Latrell.
And Nikki.
And shout out to Nikki.
Heyo.
And yeah, Office Space. This was my pick this week.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie that I've actually been thinking about rewatching, so it was kind of like, all right, this is a perfect movie to watch for episode 50. I guess before we get into the logistics and the cast and all that other stuff,
yep.
What is your history with this movie?
So I've seen this movie a few times as well. I feel like Dad was always making references to the lumber character. He's always Peter. Dad always references that. So I feel like that's the part that sticks out in my mind is him with that mug. But watching it back as an adult, it really hits different.
Okay.
It really hits different. I'll say that.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to that. All right. So let's do the cast, the rundown.
One sentence summary?
Oh, yeah. That is also yours. One sentence summary of Office Space.
So I'll say a man who is completely bored and fed up with his job devises a plan to steal money from the company, and his plan goes awry.
Okay. Yeah.
I could have gone a different direction, but I feel like that's kind of...
So our main character is his character's name is Peter.
Yeah.
And
played by Ron Livingston.
Ron Livingston, that's right.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember his name. What else was he been in? Because I feel like I've seen him in other stuff, but I always remember him as the Office Space guy.
He's been in Band of Brothers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I just watched that.
Oh, did you?
Remembered. Not just. I watched it at the beginning of 2024 or maybe the end of 2023. It was definitely within the last 18 months.
All right.
It's fantastic.
He's also in The Conjuring. He plays the husband/father figure in that movie. And where I know him from is he plays the character Burger on Sex and the City. He was one of Carrie's beaux.
And your name is Burger?
Never heard of me. What does that say about your publicity department?
And so when I saw him, I was like, Burger. And that's probably not where most people know him, but that's where I know him from the most.
Carrie had a lot of boyfriends on that show. The show is called Sex and the City, so I guess that's kind of implied.
There's a lot of guys on that show.
I'm also thinking about Jerry on Seinfeld. I feel like he had a different girlfriend every episode.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting exercise to see who in sitcom history has dated the most people. But that's not what we're gonna do on this show because we only cover movies.
All right, next up we have Michael Bolton. Not played by Michael Bolton.
Not that Michael Bolton. The other one.
You know, you can just call me Mike.
He's played by David Herman. And David Herman has a very interesting filmography because he has played a number of voices for cartoons.
Oh, nice.
Like a number. Like Futurama?
Yeah, whatever. Futurama. Yeah, Futurama.
Central Park, Bob's Burgers, American Dad. And on these shows, he's played multiple characters.
Oh, so he's like a voice actor who
yeah.
just did Office Space.
He also did Dude, Where's My Car and Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. Yeah.
But I don't remember him from either of those films. But yeah, he's a voice actor. Big time.
Idiocracy is basically just like a look directly into our future. It's basically this is exactly...
That sounds terrifying.
This is where we're headed. But yeah. Jennifer Aniston, speaking of 90s sitcoms.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, I've seen this movie like a ton of times. And I always forget that she's in this movie.
Yeah.
Until like the opening credits, I'm like, oh yeah. Like, because she's not, I guess this Joanna character like isn't really that central to the plot.
Right. So
it's kind of easy to forget about her until, you know, he goes to Tchotchkes and then you're like, oh that's
yeah,
right.
I remember this. Yeah, exactly. And then you have Milton, who's the mumbler. I call him the mumbler man.
The legend, Stephen Root.
He was in King of the Hill.
Barry.
Yeah. And I actually forgot about that. And I was like, oh, he was Fuchs. And,
yes, he was.
And Barry, oh, man.
Because whenever I used to see him, I used to always think about Office Space. And now I think of Barry. He was also in Boardwalk Empire.
As well as Dodgeball.
Oh, that's right. Right. He was. Man, Stephen Root is actually the man.
Yeah. He's pretty dope. Then you have Bill Lumbergh, played by Gary Cole.
Yes.
Who was also in Dodgeball.
Yes, he was.
And when I think of him...
he was in Talladega Nights,
that's
right?
what I think of. I think of
He
Talladega
was the
Nights.
loser dad.
Yeah.
You got big. How long's it been? 3-4 months?
10 years.
10 years? Man, I got to lay off the peyote.
And then who else? You have... John C. McGinley, who plays Bob, one of the Bobs.
Yeah, right.
And he's from Scrubs.
Yep.
That's the first time that I see him. And recently I watched him in this movie called The Belko Experiment that came out in 2016.
Balco, like the drug?
Belko.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the Barry Bonds steroid.
No. It's basically like these people work at a company, and while they're at work one day, someone kind of like takes over everything, and it's like, you guys have a certain amount of time to kill X amount of people. And if not, you all are going to die.
Oh, I think I've seen it. It's a movie, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've seen that. That movie is crazy. I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah.
That movie is nuts.
He's in that movie. I recently just watched that like last month.
Yeah. I did see
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think who else we need to actually... Richard...
The other IT guy. Because Samir.
Oh, Samir is played by AJ... Nadeau. He was in Bad Santa, and he was also in Pie.
He was mad funny.
Yeah, he was very funny. All right, you want to get into...
Yeah, so film? I guess, first of all, this, like you said, this movie is basically revolves around Ron Livingston's character, Peter, who works for this place called Initech. Mm-hmm. And how would you describe this workplace?
It's like one of those typical soul-sucking offices where your job is just very repetitive.
Yep.
And you're just watching the clock the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, there's actual scenes where you see him looking at his clock and it's like 9:10. It's like, dude, like, you've been there for 10 minutes. Well,
he's probably...
It might have been 1 minute.
Yeah.
But it's like... He'll check it and it'll be like 10:15. It's like, you just got to work and you're ready. You're just like, I need to get out of here. Everybody's working in cubicles. So you hear everybody's conversations on the phone. It's just like one of those places where it's like, I have to come here and I'm working my 9 to 5, 4 or 5 days a week. But it's like, this job really sucks. And what I think the movie does a really good job of is showing all the different ways that this job is just terrible.
Yeah.
Like, even like the very like mundane things of like, he's going in to work and he consistently gets shocked by the door handle. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he knows it's going to happen. He's trying to like brace himself for it. And then he gets shocked again. And it's like, ah. And then he has 8 bosses for some reason.
Well, chain of command, baby.
And then
everybody he reports to is reaching out to him to tell him to remember to put the cover letter on the TPS report because the memo went out. And didn't he see the memo?
It's insane. Like, that would drive anybody crazy.
So I'm watching this with my partner, and she's like, you know, we both work in schools, but we work like outside of the classroom. So we kind of have office jobs, but we work in the school building. Mm-hmm. So she's like, yo, office jobs aren't really like this. Like, they're exaggerating. And I'm like, nah, we just have different kinds of office jobs. Like, office jobs are 100% like this because when I worked for the school district, it was very much like this.
Yeah.
The job I have now is a little bit more insulated, so it's not like a big office feel. And I also feel like offices feel different post-COVID anyway.
Right, exactly.
But like, this is 100%. It's a bit of an exaggeration, obviously, because it's a comedy film. Mm-hmm. But like, there are so many little things, like you say. Like, I feel like it's just pointing out all the minutia of like of working in an office, from like people reminding you about the email that they sent, or you know, having this arm twisting birthday party that nobody really wants to attend to, but hey, there's cake, and so now we all have to pretend.
The birthday parties, like, I was having flashbacks. I was like, I remember, or it'd be like, oh, it's January, we're celebrating all the January birthdays today, and then it's like, you know, 3 or 4 people, and you have all these cake, then everybody's like forced to like socialize and like, oh yeah,
it's like, forced socialization.
I just
100%.
want to get my work done, like, and I'm like, that's the one good thing about COVID. Like, we don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore.
Yo, that's the crazy thing. Because it would also be like, you wouldn't really want to go. And especially when you get promotions and stuff, and you become a manager, then it's like, all right, you're kind of like in a leadership position. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of play the game, but you're also just like, yo, I have mad things to do. Mm-hmm. And so like, I really actually don't want to go to like this office Christmas party. Like, why are we even doing this? This is so ridiculous. But then when you say that, then it's like, you know, you're the sore sport. You're antisocial. You got an attitude problem. You're antisocial. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All of which I've heard, by the way. I don't hear that as much now because, like I said, it's a little different. But yeah, like,
you know what else for me? I was thinking about that printer that's always malfunctioning. There's always one.
Okay, well, that part definitely still happens at my job because we are constantly getting emails about the printer being down or the elevator needing to be fixed, and then it's like 5 hours later, hey guys, the printer's back up. Thanks for your patience. Until 3 days later, to get another printer's not working email.
Yeah,
so that 100% still happens. We're not sending faxes anymore, thankfully, but
thank God.
Yeah, the printer jams. I feel like this is also, I don't know how the timelines match up with the British office, but certainly this movie came out before the American version, and I feel like this was kind of in that same vein of like, you work in this office where everybody's kind of bored, nobody really wants to be there, mm-hmm. and everybody's just kind of waiting till 5 o'clock. And you always have, the other thing that I have to mention is that one colleague who's always a little too excited to be there.
Yes, the case of the Mondays.
And she's like, hey guys! And she's like mad chipper and cheery. Oh, I never liked these people.
Because who are these people? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like,
who are these people?
Like, how did your night?
What's wrong with these people?
How did your night and your morning go that you're coming into work? Matter of fact,
on a Monday.
speaking of coming into work, the opening scene of him like driving in traffic and trying to get in.
I was definitely getting to that because the way that you talk about how you always think about Lumbergh, for me, it's that opening scene. Like, that opening scene lives rent-free in my head because I think about it all the time when I'm in traffic. Because it's so real. It's like, yo, I'm in the fast lane, but the middle lane is moving faster than mine. This makes no sense. And then you shift over. And then as soon as you shift over, halt. All you see is brake lights in front of you.
You gotta just stay.
and then the lane that you just left starts moving. I'm like, yo, this seemed ridiculous the first time I saw this movie. But no longer. Like now I'm like, yo, this is actually real life.
And then you have an old man in a walker who's going faster than the traffic. That was amazing. I loved that. So let's talk about these characters for a little bit. How would you describe Michael Bolton?
Michael Bolton is a nerdy IT guy, a nerdy white IT guy who loves gangster rap. He got a Snoop Doggy Dogg poster in his cubicle. He's like blasting gangster rap on his way to work until like he sees like this black guy walking past him, and then he quickly turns the volume down and locks his door. And I love the juxtaposition of gangster rap in this movie that's about like a petty white collar crime.
Yeah.
Because it is like, yo, they are breaking the law. Like they are kind of like gangsters. Like they're in the tech gangsters. But it's definitely not in the context of the lyrics of the songs that are playing.
But it's so
like,
good
it's
though.
It's just so perfect.
Because I feel like the Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster by the Ghetto Boys was like, I was rocking it. Like, as soon as the movie finished, I had to play it.
Nah, the soundtrack was great. The soundtrack is excellent. And I didn't realize before, I've seen this movie a number of times, but I didn't realize at the end, when the end credits are playing, there's a rap song. And I'm like, wait, that's Cannabis. An underground 90s rapper that many of you probably don't know, but I did not remember him having a song, and he's basically rapping about working in an office. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, yo, how have I never paid attention to this before?
6 o'clock every morning, you waking up yawning to the sound of your alarm clock alarm. About an hour from now, you should be at your place of employment, which is annoying because it's so boring.
Cannabis rapping about the mundane office living. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they had Scarface, Ice Cube, like Slum Village. Like, the soundtrack was just
they were going crazy,
out of control. What's funny about that is 20th Century Fox did not like having an all hip hop soundtrack, but the focus groups changed their minds because they were like, nah, this is lit, this works, and so they ended up keeping it in. But initially, they were like, no, this is too much. This does not work.
This doesn't work?
This does not work, but it does. At least we think it does.
Nah, it definitely does. It definitely does. It takes the whole thing to like another level. So we got to talk about Peter. So Peter is basically, he doesn't care about any of this. His two friends, Samir and Michael, both work in IT. His job, I would basically describe it as generic office job. Even he has a hard time really explaining it. And that's also a big thing in office jobs. Like a lot of times it's hard for you to even describe your own job. Never mind somebody else's.
That's very true.
Because, like, what do you do? And it's like, well, it's hard to explain.
Well, he said that he was updating the bank codes for the 2000 Switch. And I was thinking, like, the whole Y2K scare was going on. And he was trying to tell her, like, yeah, well, all the computers are, like, have 95, 96, 97. But, like, now with the 2000 switchover, it's like we're only using 2 digits. And he's trying to figure out how they can update it. But, like, even him trying to explain it to Joanna, he gets so, like, exhausted trying to explain it. He's like, it doesn't really matter what I do. Like, forget it. Like, it's an office job, basically.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like, that's what he's doing right now. But he probably wasn't doing that before 1999.
That's true.
And he'll be doing some other mundane job after Y2K.
Right.
When nothing happens, inevitably. He's in this relationship that is on the rocks.
Oh, yeah, with Anne.
With a girl named Anne, who's really only in one scene because they break up very early in the film. And he's worried about the state of their relationship. Every time he tells his friends, I think Anne's cheating on me, they're like, yeah, I know what you mean. He's like, what?
What do you mean? And they're like, huh?
So that's not a great sign.
It's not.
And he's generally just dissatisfied with his life.
But he's going through the motions because you got to pay your bills and you got to, pay for a place to live. So you do it until
they go to an occupational hypnotherapist.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And it feels like there's another couple there, too.
Yeah, I was very confused about that.
I'm not really sure exactly how that works.
I was like, why are there 4 people in this room?
Because I've never gone to therapy with like a buddy system. Like there's like a partner couple in my session. Like, oh, hey, how you guys doing?
This is not AA. Like, this is not.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah,
but
that was bizarre. But anyway, he's wound up about this job. He's stressed out. And so this hypnotherapist decides to assist him. And while the therapist is, doing his work and getting him to calm down and to go deep. Well, he said deep, very deep, very deep.
Yeah.
The therapist seems to have some kind of, I don't know, brain aneurysm, stroke. Something happens to this guy.
He's a heart attack.
And he just dies on the spot. And so now our good friend Peter is now stuck in this daze where he doesn't care about anything.
At all. And he was already dissatisfied because he's like, yo, this job sucks. My boss is mad annoying. He's always asking me to come in on the weekends. And Lumberg, his boss, is actually like a genius at the way that he asks for things because he never actually asks.
Yeah.
He's great at just like being like, hey, I need you to do this. Thanks for that. And then he walks away. So then it's just like, yo, you didn't even actually ask me. And you didn't even wait for me to confirm.
No.
Like, he just raps you. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday. And actually, Peter, I think I'm going to need you to come in on Sunday as well.
Which is crazy. Because I guarantee
like,
he's not getting any overtime for this.
That's crazy.
And I think what kind of like
we're really behind here right now. I appreciate all your hard work. And then he just bounces.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's it.
I never agreed to this.
I think what adds to the despair of Peter in his life is like, it's not even just, I hate my job. It's like, even when he leaves, it's like, he's in this very small apartment with paper thin walls. It's like, it just seems very sad. Like his life just seems sad, like all around.
Yeah. And I think that's also a bigger picture that they're trying to convey of like, who are these people that work these mundane jobs that they hate? Of course, they're juicing it up to show this person, but it's also like, yeah, you probably do live in like an apartment complex, or like some sort of, condo that you rent.
He has no hobbies.
He doesn't have any. Well, he does have a hobby because him and Lawrence like to go fishing.
Oh, okay. I guess that's true.
And I don't know if drinking is a hobby, but he also seems to like doing that. He's drinking throughout the film. But yeah. Also, his relationship is a mess.
Yeah.
So that's also like whatever solace he would get outside of work, he's not getting it there either.
Mm-hmm. Well, now he's completely relaxed, and he does not go into work over the weekend. And he has 17 unread messages on his answering machine. Remember answering machines?
I do.
And it's half of them.
And the fact that you said unread is also funny.
Oh.
Because they're not texts.
Yeah. like, unlistened to.
Unplayed
messages. Unplayed messages. And most of it comes from his boss, who's basically calling like, yeah, it's 9:15 and
still don't see you yet,
still don't see you here.
Give me a call back when you get this.
And then the girlfriend calls, and she's just like, bro, like, what are you doing? So what's funny about it is when the boss is calling, it's like 10:30, whatever. At one point, he actually gets out of bed. He gets up, he stretches, he answers the phone, and his girlfriend's like, what are you doing? It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, nothing. Like, I didn't go in.
She's like, well, aren't you supposed to be at work? He's like, yeah, I didn't feel like going.
So she's like yelling at him. He hangs up on her. Then she calls back and she's like, by the way, I was cheating on you the whole time, which of course we as the audience knew based on all the
He knew.
I mean, yes, he did. But then what made me laugh is like after he gets up, he stretches, looks out the window, hangs up on his girlfriend. He goes back into the bed. Yeah. And I'm like, it's 3:30 p.m.
He's like, yo.
Like, what?
The whole thing about Peter, and I think is also kind of an interesting idea, right, is that he actually doesn't want to do anything. It's not just that he doesn't want to do his job. It's like he has no desire to do things. And there's a part in the film where he's having this conversation with Samir and Michael about like, you know, this is nobody's dream. Like nobody dreams to kind of like work here. And he talks about being in high school and, you know, they're in like career class and they're asking about like, if you didn't have to think about money, what would you do? And so this is the thing that they're talking about. And he asks Lawrence about it. And he's like, I never had an answer. That's why I'm working at Initech.
Yeah.
Because he is like, basically, even since from the time that he was in high school, like he never could think of like a job that he would love, because what he would love is to not have a job. And it made me think about this concept of like, how many of us are doing the job that like, if we could pick anything in the world, we'd be doing it. Probably very few.
Most people are not doing their dream job. No.
And so you think about like an office setting like Initech, or like any office, any corporate office anywhere in America. And the reality is that like most, if not every person there would have preferred to be doing something else. So that's
true.
actually just
it's
like
true.
the reality of the entire space. Now within that, you have people who are like, hey, I'm comfortable. I make a decent salary, whatever. Hey, I have interests outside of work. I'm just going to come in here and do my thing.
Right.
Hey, I'm going to be super ambitious and try to see how many promotions I can get. And so, hey, this is where I'm at and I'm going to make the most of it. But I would say maybe 60 to 70% of the people there are literally just doing the bare minimum so that they can leave. And so I think what makes this Peter character so interesting is that he kind of represents what most people going to most jobs feel, but he's brazen enough and hypnotized enough to basically just like stop giving a damn.
Yeah.
And it's kind of liberating even watching it, because you're like, yo, I wish I could be like this guy. He's so lazy.
But I will say the part where I was like, this is going a little bit too far is, so one thing that is good about him being this liberated is he's always had a crush on Joanna, played by Jennifer Aniston. She works at this like TGI Fridays type of restaurant called Tchotchkes. And he's always thought she was attractive, but now that Anne has essentially dumped him, he is free to do as he pleases. And now he also is like, I don't care about anything. Like, I'm real, like, who cares? So he goes up to her, he asks her out, like, on the spot, like, when's your lunch break, basically? Like, let's go next door and have lunch. And she agrees to do so. And while they're there, he's basically telling her how he's like, yeah, I'm supposed to go to work. Like, I didn't go. I'm not going to go. So she's like, okay, are you going to quit your job? He's like, no. I'm just not going to go. So she's like, are you going to get another job? He's like, nope, don't want to do that. So she's like, how are you going to pay your bills? And he's like, you know what? I don't like paying bills. I think I'll just stop doing that. And I'm like, okay, now we're taking it a little too far, because on the first of the month, that rent will be due. So unless you're the dude and you just have money from somewhere that we don't know where it's coming from, I just don't understand. I don't understand how you're gonna live. Like, that was my only thing. I was like, all right, this is cute for now.
Well, he figured out a way.
The Bobs?
Well, not only did he figure out a plan to rob his company blind, but his laziness ends up getting him a promotion.
Crazy.
So this is also another parallel to The Office, both the British and English versions, where you have this nondescript generic office where people work, and inevitably they have to downsize.
I mean, that's real life.
Yeah. So this also happens in Office Space, where they're like, yo, we have too many redundancies. Like, we have to figure out how to like tighten our belts. And so they bring in a consultant, the dreaded consultant, who's going to figure out whose job is actually worth keeping.
And that's played by John C. McKinley, aka Bob.
Yeah, Bob 1 and Bob 2. So basically they're meeting with all these different people to basically ask them like, hey, what do you do here? You know, ask them about their job experience, what they're doing, all this stuff. And Peter's been blowing off work basically all week at this point.
He's not even dressed.
He shows up to work to the office to gut a pig that to gut a fish that he just caught.
That's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Just slightly.
He's wearing jeans and flip flops, like no intention of actually working. But he's like, "Oh, the consultants are here. All right, I'll go talk to them."
And Michael's kind of like, "Bro, shouldn't you say you're sick if something excuse something?" He's like, "Why? I'll just go in there."
Yeah, like he doesn't care. So he sits down to talk to the Bobs, and you're like, "Oh, this is about to be a disaster."
Right.
Because this guy is hypnotized, and he doesn't care at all. And he basically says,
I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
He said a week.
"Oh yeah," he said 15,
which is really insane.
15 minutes of work a week. So that's like 3 minutes per day. And he says, and this is the part that hit, "My only motivation is not to get fired. Mm-hmm. And that only makes you work hard enough not to lose your job."
Man.
And I'm like, yo.
I know people like that. Boy. But here's the thing. So
this is what I'm saying.
No,
like,
listen.
Most people.
Joel, so I was talking with my best friend about this. Not this movie, but like that concept. Because, we're both type A, we're both workaholics. And
Jamaicans.
Yes. We're Jamaicans. And we were basically saying, like, we'll complain about coworkers, like, "Oh, this person, that, blah, blah, blah." And then we think about it. My friend was like, "Well, maybe we're the idiots." Because, like, we're doing all this running around. We're not getting sleep. I mean, this is, of course, pre-COVID. I feel like it was worse. Yeah. Like, now, but
I remember when I used to be a hard worker. That was also pre-COVID.
But I mean, like, pre-COVID, it was like, it was crazy the hours you were putting in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, bro, like, I'm getting the same pay as a person that's 5 o'clock.
Coasting.
Shutting it down and running out. So
Coasting.
It's like, what am I doing this for?
For your own self-worth?
It's crazy. I mean, yes. I think you should take...
that is honestly the only reason.
I think you should take pride in your work. And of course I do. So I'm not ever going to just slack or just do the bare minimum to get by. But sometimes I feel like I wish that I was that person who didn't care as much. Because I feel like they really...
There's still time. There's still time. You still have a job. You can change at any moment.
But I can't. That's the problem. I can't do it. I've gotten a lot better. I've had more boundaries than I have in the past, but it's still hard to just be like, all right, it's 5 o'clock. I'm shutting down. Like, if I'm so close to finishing something and I can stay an extra 30 minutes to finish it, I'm gonna stay and finish it. Or
you could be like, I'm gonna finish this tomorrow.
But then, then you're losing your train of thought. It's gonna take you twice as long to finish it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Think about it.
You have more time on the clock, baby. That clock gotta run. I gotta get to my 8 hours, baby. So Peter, who's representing most of America except for Andrene, her best friend, is basically telling them, like, yo, like, nobody actually cares. Like, you're just doing what you have to do, but nothing more than that. And instead of being like, this guy sucks, we need to fire him, they're like, yo, he actually gave us the real spill.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is hypnotized, so nobody else is saying that to them. So then when they call the boss in, and they're like, yo, like, we met with Peter, and it was, like, very eye-opening. He's like, yeah, the guy's a slacker. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't work well. He's like, nah, like, he actually gave us mad gems.
Right.
And actually, like, we feel like you're not pushing him enough. That's why he comes to work and basically doesn't feel like there's really anything important for him to do. Mm-hmm. And actually, like, what are we actually doing here? What's the environment that we're putting in place where people feel this way? Which is actually kind of a good point, because I do feel like your motivation to work hard, if you have any at all, is oftentimes going to come from, number one, who you work for.
Oh
right?
God,
Like,
yes.
That's
a huge
the
one.
number one reason why people leave jobs is because they leave
Bad boss.
They want to leave the boss.
Horrible bosses.
But the other reason I think is like the general environment of the workplace. So like Initech obviously had a trash. I mean, they had a guy.
Oh, Milton.
They had a guy
Oh, Milton.
who worked in the office who they actually meant to fire years ago, and they just forgot. It was like, oh, it was a glitch. We fixed the glitch.
but the problem with that is a number of things wrong with it. First of all, they keep moving his desk. He said his desk got moved 4 times in 1 year. That's insane. And they keep moving him to worse and worse spots. So like first he was by a window, then he was in a cube with no window, then he was like almost like in a closet. Then he got moved.
They told him, he said, push all the way against the wall, like as far back as you can go. We need space in the middle area.
And then he got pushed down to like the basement.
That's after they fired him
without firing him. But again, like one thing I can't stand about work is that like passive aggressiveness, where it's like, so quick story. I once worked in an office a few years ago where they had a loose dress code, but it's kind of like it wasn't very like suit.
Where this is going.
It wasn't suit and tie, but it still was like, you're coming to work, so like casual, casual work attire and business casual kind of. And there was one person who would come in. This woman, I remember, Joel. She came in a velour suit.
She was dripped up.
A velour suit,
dripped up and draped out, baby,
to work.
Swag her out.
And it's like, bro, like this is a professional setting. Was
it baby fat?
It wasn't baby fat. It wasn't baby fat. I don't think it was a name brand.
She loses
but
point.
It was hot pink.
Of course it was hot pink.
So it was her.
Did it have words on the butt?
No. It wasn't Juicy.
Juicy Couture? Y'all remember the Juicy Couture?
Victoria's Secret?
Yo, it was literally the girls walking around with juicy printed over their ass, man. That's a crazy era, man. The 2000s was a nasty time for fashion.
That's nasty work.
It was so nasty, man.
And then even another woman who would come in like she was going to the club. Like I remember one day she came to work, and I kid you not,
she was going to the club.
Hand on the Bible.
She was.
She had on a skirt with fishnets and like thigh-high boots to come to the office. So, of course, they had a meeting with everybody, and it was like, this is just a reminder to all staff. And it's like, bro, we all know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
just go to the two individuals, 2 of them, and just say, hey, your velour suit and your, fishnets. Fishnets
are not part of the office dress
And you know
code.
what's funny? When I think about the fishnets, this is so random. I think about Patrick Star from SpongeBob. It's like, you ever seen this picture? It's like from one of the movies, and he has on like fishnets and boots.
That's crazy.
But all that to say, it's like, y'all know you fired this man Milton. Just pull him into the office and say, hey, like we're downsizing, like we're sorry to let you go, but like this is what it is. Why am I pretending and like hoping he realizes that he's not getting paid anymore? That's crazy.
Hoping he doesn't realize, honestly. Because every time he has these complaints about the swing line stapler or about his desk getting moved or about missing his check, the boss basically just ignores him and walks away. So they're not even giving him like any sort of autonomy. And the Bobs are also, and he's like, yo, like, what, should we say something? And the Bobs are like, we prefer to just avoid confrontation. This is what the consultant is telling Lumber.
Yeah, but toxic work environment for sure.
100%.
But I also feel as if, and I'm not here to blame the victim, but you need to be able to advocate for yourself. The entire movie.
He did.
You can barely hear what he's saying, bro.
That's his voice.
No, you can speak up.
Because he spoke the same way at the end of the movie when he was at the resort.
Right. And
he's just a mumbler.
But I feel like that's the problem. Because if I don't know what you're saying, if you're not clearly telling me what the problem is or how to fix it, it's like, oh, he's mumbling something. I don't know. I'm walking away. Like, you need to be able to advocate for yourself. And I felt like he wasn't doing that.
I mean, yeah, he did his
and
best.
And it blew me. I was like, bro, like, stand up for yourself, bro.
Oh, man. So Lumberg, Peter. So we do see one of the coworkers does get fired.
That was Sam. Tom, sorry, yes.
So
his job was not necessary.
Tom is the man, dog. Tom probably made me laugh more than anybody in this movie. So Tom is the guy, for those of you that's seen this movie before, is the guy with the jump to conclusions, Matt. Mm-hmm. So Tom sits down with the two Bobs, and this scene is just so hilarious to me. Like, I laughed out loud. Because they're asking him about his job, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I take the customer complaints, and then I take them to IT." He's like, "So you just take the complaints and you take them too?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "So you like physically take them?" He's like, "Well, not all the time." So he's like, "So why can't the people just reach out to IT? Like, why do they need you? Like, we don't understand why your job's necessary."
Right.
And he starts getting all flustered, hot under the collar.
He said, "Because I'm good with people."
He said.
Oh my
God. That show is so funny. He yelled at them, "I'm a people person."
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
And the Bob's just looking like,
what the hell is wrong with you people? Bro, that show is mad funny. Oh my God. So he gets canned.
oh,
And
then he
goes home and tries to kill himself. And his wife catches him. He ends up trying to back out of the driveway after he decides to not kill himself. Mm-hmm. Gets hit by a truck. Breaks a bunch of bones, but ends up with $1 million settlement.
Yeah.
So he went from fired and suicidal to being an instant millionaire.
Yeah.
So Tom had to come up.
And now he's lit.
Tom is lit. Because now he's like, yo, I don't have to work at Initech. I'm not going to work at any place like Initech ever again. And I just came up with mad bread.
Yeah.
So that could have been, I guess, Milton. They could have just fired him the same way they fired Tom. But like you said, they were like, this guy is a pushover, so we're not even going to bother firing him.
Poor Milton.
At least Tom yelled.
Poor Milton. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to stand up for yourself, bro. He wasn't doing it.
All right, so let's talk about this plan, because at some point at the beginning, after he gets hypnotized, Peter is basically just like in this state of perpetual bliss. And at some point he decides to turn into like a freedom fighter.
Well, because what happens is he gets this promotion and he learns that they're going to fire Michael and Samir.
Right.
And those are his boys. So they're like, wait, you're going to fire them?
They work harder than I do.
Right. He couldn't believe it.
You're going to give me more money and you're going to fire these guys?
And so before all this had happened, earlier on in the movie when they were out at Chachi's, like eating and drinking, Michael Bolton, who hates that name, was saying that he was super smart, and if he wanted to, he can come up with this virus that basically they could steal money from the company a little bit at a time. And so now the wheels in Peter's brain are spinning, and he's like, wait a second. If we stay on, we're able to, do this little heist. And the whole thing was he was supposed to steal like small amounts, like not even like a whole penny, I think he said.
It's like fractions of a penny.
Fractions of a penny.
So it's
over
like the
time.
idea of like when they have the accounting, when they're transferring money, the system basically rounds off to the nearest dollar. Mm-hmm. So, or to the nearest cent. So he's like, if they have thousands of transactions and we just pocket everything that gets rounded off, they won't notice, and we'll actually accrue a bunch of money on the back end.
Right. And it sounded, easy enough. And at first, they don't want to do it because they're like, bro, like, I have a good job. Why would I? And then Peter's like, well, what if you didn't have a good job?
Yeah, because y'all are actually about to get
You're
sacked.
about to get canned.
Yeah.
And then they had this weird conversation about, like, different types of jail. And it's like, well, if we get caught doing this, then we'll end up, like, in the white-collar jail, which is almost like, a hotel, basically.
Right.
And
Club Fed.
Yeah. Basically. So they're like, yeah, it'll be easy if we do it. And the turning point, so Samir's still like, bro, like, I'm not trying to do this. And Peter's like, come on, bro, this is America. I'm not going to cut your hands off or anything. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. But then he's like, well, think about it. You'll be able to get conjugal visits. And he's like, conjugal visits? And I'm like, wait, this? And so what doesn't make sense to me is you're out in the world right now. If you want to have sex with someone, you can do it. Like, and I also feel like, do they not know how conjugal visits work?
No, they do not.
The jail is not paying for sex workers to come.
Just bringing women into prisoners and saying, we know you got caught, but here, please have sex. We have women for you.
I'm like,
this is a white collar jail after all.
That's not how that works. Like, they have to be like your partner or
you have to already have someone that has sex with you before you go into prison.
So I'm like, this doesn't. I didn't really quite understand why that was a turning point.
I don't think he quite understood.
But they decided to do it anyway. They're like, yeah, sure, let's do this plan. And when they're trying to figure out how to concoct this plan, they're like, let's go ahead and we'll do it tomorrow, I guess. So they go in, they do the plan, and of course they're playing like hip hop music in the background. It's fantastic. And we think that
I love that scene with them dancing to the rap music.
Oh yeah.
That's just great.
It's really good. Is that where one of the guys, what's his name?
Michael? Samir?
No, Samir starts like breakdancing?
Yes. Yes, he does. He
that was
on his
fantastic.
back.
That was fantastic. I really enjoyed that as well. So now they're like, oh, we're lit. Like, by this time tomorrow, like, we're coming up. And so they go ahead, they do the transaction, and then Peter later on goes to an ATM to check his account to see what's there. And it's like $305,000.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. So somehow Michael made a mistake and placed the decimal in the wrong place, and they took a crap ton of money.
He put the decimal in a lot of wrong places.
Right, I'm like, he didn't just put it like one space over.
It should have been like $30.
Right.
So,
or maybe $3.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't have been $305,000. I don't know what he did. But now they're just like, bro, like, we're definitely going to jail. And they kept talking about, like, it didn't age well, but different types of jail. And they were saying that it was a pound you in the ass prison.
Yes.
And
that's also what the judge says in his fever dream.
God. So they're not going to the nice Club Fed in the event they get caught, and they're trying to figure out, what do we do? And so they decide that they need to get a coke dealer who will know how to launder money, apparently.
So yeah, so like that whole thing.
It's ridiculous.
It's
really
ridiculous. But I wanted to go back to Joanna, who we mentioned earlier before, because I thought something was interesting that I didn't really notice watching this movie before. Up to this point, like, Peter's still hypnotized, right? Like, he's still kind of like in this, like, I don't care about anything, da da da. Yo, we can rob these people, da da da. But he's chilling. He still doesn't care about nothing until they go to this party for Tom. And one of the dude bros in his office basically is like, oh, you know that Joanna chick? Oh, that's crazy. Who's she here with? And he's like, oh, she's here with me. He's like, oh, dude, if you're gonna sleep with her, make sure you use a rubber because she gets around. And he's like, what are you talking about? So then the dude, his coworker, tells him that she slept with Lumberg. And he spazzes. And I'm like, yo, this is so crazy because he's in this state of perpetual bliss.
Right.
And all it took was him getting jealous. All it took was him being jealous of another man. And he snapped out of it immediately.
So fast.
So fast. Like, yo, that is interesting. Like, that is
it's the fragile male ego.
Yo, it is very
That's what
interesting.
It was.
Like, yo, like, nothing else.
Job.
Even, like, the job, whatever, the girlfriend, whatever. But then it's like, oh, I actually like this girl. And some other dude, not even just some other dude.
No, my boss.
My boss slept with her and immediately unhypnotized.
Yeah, that
immediately.
That was ridiculous. I also hated the fact that dude bro basically made it seem like she slept around because she slept with one other person.
Well, he named a few people, but yeah.
But it's like, bro, like
Peter completely blanked him out after he said Lumberg. Like, that was the last name he heard.
Bro. And you find out later on it's not even the right Lumberg. It was a completely different guy. But yeah, Peter spazzes out, like, and she's like, bro, like, why does it matter who I was with before? Like, we both were with other people. Like, what are you talking about? He gets out of control. And they end up kind of having a rift in their relationship for a little bit. But yeah, I did think about that too, because I was like, at what point did he snap out of it? And that was the moment. Well,
yo, that was the moment.
That was the moment.
That was the moment. Once he found out, yo, my girl slept with Lumberg. Nah, dog. No more bliss. No more happiness. Nothing. He went from I don't care about anything to caring very much. He cared bigly.
He sure did. He sure did. Well, anyway, so
yeah.
So what I thought was interesting.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Well, just there's a scene that I think everybody knows, and because it's just like a great let it all loose, let all your anger out scene, and it's a scene with the printer.
Of course.
When he steals it and he takes it out, and him and the boys just like rip on this thing, destroy it
with the gangster music in the background.
Oh, of course, the entire movie. And in my head, I'm thinking, how did he steal this? Nobody saw him walk out with his printer? It's huge.
I mean, who knows? Peter also at the end, when he decides to give back the money, he gets into the office at night when nobody's there. So I don't know.
I guess since he's now upper management, maybe he has.
I don't know if maybe he stole it when nobody was in the office. But obviously he has access to the place.
Yeah,
but that scene is hilarious because it looks like they are like carrying out a mob hit. Like that's what it reminded me of like you know, that scene in I think it's Casino where they like take the dude out into the desert. Like it's very much like that where it's like, yo, they go to this open empty field and they're like, yo, we got the printer all alone.
Time to destroy it.
And the baseball bat is just very much like Casino.
It's good stuff. So then they realize, okay, we're in duck soup. So Peter decides he's just gonna take the blame. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna return these, cashier's checks with a letter to Lumberg, basically, and I'll take full responsibility for the stolen funds. He goes into the office, slips the envelope under the door to Lumberg's office, and basically he's like, this is it, I'm going to jail. He even warns Joanna, like, I'm about to be gone for a long time. Like, it's a wrap. And after he leaves, we see our boy Milton going in, and he's upset because it's like, bro, like, why am I not getting my pay? Like, this is crazy. What is happening? And throughout the film, there's a number of times where he says, like, I should set a fire to this place. Or I could burn the whole thing down.
Burn this whole place
I
down.
could burn the whole thing down. He says it like 4 times throughout the film. And so the last time we see him going into the office, he goes in, opens Lumberg's door, and that's the last thing we see until the entire office is up in flames. And of course, Peter is super excited because he's like, yo, I'm not going to get in trouble. There's no proof of anything.
And this is probably at a point where offices don't just like have all their records in a cloud.
You're right. That's what I was thinking.
When all of these computers get destroyed, there's going to be no trace of them ever placing the virus. I mean, they were carrying the virus on a floppy disk. So it's not like there's any sort of internet system that they're going to be able to recover. And for all intents and purposes, like that business is probably kaput.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I don't know how they're going to like come back from that.
I don't think you can.
So like, the whole business basically gets destroyed. Peter never gets caught, but they also don't get any of the money that they stole.
But someone else does.
Yeah, my man Milton grabs the checks at the end. So he ends up getting his, $300,000. He's on he's at a resort at the end of the film, still complaining.
At a whisper.
And Milton is, he very much meets the stereotype of someone who would like show up to work and kill everybody. Like he's like quiet. He's a little not antisocial, but socially awkward. Mm-hmm. He's ignored. He's repeatedly taken advantage of.
He wears glasses.
He has no friends in the office. Like he's definitely the guy that would show up and just murder everybody. So him setting the place ablaze is not off-brand by any chance.
But I like the fact that it was arson and not a shooting. Like the arson...
That would not have been funny.
No.
Like that would not have been a good ending for a comedy movie.
No. Although Peter does make a joke at one point about like shooting people. And I was like, let's not do that. But yeah. He burned it down. He has the money. He's good to go. So one thing I will say that I thought was funny, because it just came out of nowhere, was when Peter first talks to Joanna and he's like, you know, if it was up to me, I just want to go home and like watch kung fu movies. And she's like, I love kung fu. It's like, wait, what? Because it was so out of nowhere. It's like, this is what y'all do? And they show multiple times with them like snuggling up on the bed and all they're doing is watching kung fu.
Yeah, she loves kung fu.
They don't even kiss, I feel like.
They kiss until like maybe once.
Yeah, there was no 90s kiss here.
No, it's not that type of movie. So let me ask you this. At the end, Peter no longer has an office job, and now he's working in a manual labor role with his neighbor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So what do you think was behind that decision? Like, why do you think the movie ends with him as like a construction guy?
He needed to do something different. He needed to do something where he wasn't stuck at a desk all day, essentially doing nothing. At least with that job, you are actively doing something all day. You're moving things from this place to that place. You're directing traffic. There are a number of different tasks you're completing.
Building things. You're actually seeing the labor of your work. You're
outside. You're also interacting with other people. It's different than just sitting at a cubicle and typing away for 8 hours. And also, like, not everyone's cut out for an office job. Like, there are some people that, like, that would absolutely crush their soul and they need to be outside doing something with their hands. And I think that once he discovered that, it was like, yeah, this is cool. Because even his friends were like, oh, we can get you a job at our company. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Like, yeah, I'm not doing that ever again in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You have any fun facts?
I do.
Okay.
So this film was...
People are anxiously waiting. This is something this is what they wait for.
With bated breath.
Yeah.
This film was written by Mike Judge, and this is the same person who created Beavis and Butthead, as well as King of the Hill. He actually did a little, what do they call it, guest appearance. He played Joanna's boss at Chotsky's.
That boss was mad annoying.
Yeah.
Look, we want you to express yourself, okay? Now, if you feel that the bare minimum is enough, then okay, but some people choose to wear more, and we encourage that, okay? You do want to express yourself, don't you?
That was him. And
bare minimum flair.
Apparently, he used to work at some kind of like logistics department of an engineering firm. And the character of Milton was based on an employee that he had at that firm.
That's funny.
Office Space originated with an animated shorts titled Milton, and the short ran on MTV and SNL between 91 and 94. There are actually clips of it on YouTube that you can watch. And it's funny because I pulled up a clip and it seems like vaguely familiar. It's like, I feel like I've seen snippets of this sketch before. Huh. I think if you look at it, it might seem kind of familiar to you. But that's kind of where it came in. It was like he was doing this short thing and then they kind of thought like, hey, we can turn this into something bigger. And the reason why they did that was, I believe it was something about Mary had just come out, and 20th Century Fox wanted something that could be like a big breakout comedy after that. And they thought that Milton shorts had potential. And so they built it on that character. And we have this film that came out later on. Yeah, cult classic for sure. So Root, who played Milton, had to wear contact lenses to see through those Coke bottle thick glasses. And he said that he had zero depth perception, and so he had to practice reaching for the stapler. He did say the stapler being red helped a lot because it was like a blur. He couldn't even really see what was in front of him.
The contacts didn't do anything.
Well, it helps a little bit, but it still was like, like you put on someone else's prescription and it's like, I can't see out of this. That's kind of how it was. What was interesting about that is at the time, the staplers didn't actually have that red color. So what they did for the set was the swing line stapler, they painted it red for the film.
Oh, that's mad funny.
And then later on in 2002, the company offered a Rio Red model after the film came out.
That's
so
fire.
not only did this film basically affect the staple industry, it also affected TGI Fridays, because TGI Fridays used to have those stupid flares or those buttons all over the uniforms.
Wow.
They used to like require employees to wear it. And apparently one of the assistant directors, a few years later, without revealing their affiliation with the film, asked a Fry's employee, like, why don't we see these anymore? It was like 2005. And the employee said that they, quote, removed it because of that movie Office Space.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's crazy to see like the kind of effect that it had on just regular culture.
Not to mention Case of the Mondays. It's like,
Well, yeah.
That's a phrase that's lived on.
Absolutely.
film.
Everybody knows that film. And then Michael Bolton, the real Michael Bolton, admitted that the movie is funny and that he willingly signs DVDs for fans, although they called him a no talent ass clown in the movie.
That's funny. I mean, you gotta have a sense of humor about that.
You really should.
Yeah.
Because it's a nod to you that they even put you in there, you know?
Yeah. And it's also like, I don't think they were making fun of him, really. Michael Bolton says that about him, but Michael Bolton's pissed because they share a name.
Correct.
So I don't think it was like, oh, this movie is just dumping on Michael Bolton. It's just a funny reference to a very random celebrity.
Yeah. And then lastly, John C. McKinley, who played one of the Bobs, auditioned to play Lumbergh. Which I could definitely see him playing that for sure.
Yeah, he would have been great.
All right, themes?
Yeah. So I think for me, the theme of this movie is that work isn't meant to make you happy. So you have to kind of find your own happiness within it or outside of it. Obviously, Peter is the biggest like avatar of this whole concept because the whole movie is kind of based around his unhappiness with work. But at the end, when we see him working with Lawrence in construction, he is very happy. He's smiling. He's maintained his friendship with Lawrence's with Samir and Michael, and it's like, yeah, I'm still working, but I've found my joy within that.
Yes.
And this is something that Joanna says to him when she's talking to him and basically saying like, she says most people don't like their jobs, but you just go out there and find something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
So I think for some people, that's having hobbies outside of work. I know that's a big thing for me, is like having those outlets. Or for some people, it's like, you know, chasing initiatives while they're at work. So that gives them kind of their Northern Star to work towards. Or for some people, it's just like finding those little things within your job that you enjoy to make the hours not feel so dreadful. So I feel like that was kind of like the big theme. And obviously Peter's the biggest sense of that. But even Joanna, I feel like at the end, she leaves Tchotchkes and ends up working at a restaurant that's very similar.
She goes to Hooters.
At the very end.
Yeah.
That's like in the end credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, she works. But in the movie, she ends up getting a job at the place next door where Peter took her for lunch.
That's right.
So it's like, yeah, like this is still a stupid waitressing job, but I'm fine, and I don't have to worry about my annoying boss anymore or whatever. So yeah, I think that's really was the whole point.
Yeah, that's really the main gist of the film. I'm not going to belabor the point. Were there any quotes that you wanted to quickly throw out?
I think the funniest thing, like I said, was obviously the "I'm a people person" rant. I think that's hilarious. The dude bro talking about the O face is legendary. But also when they try to bribe the dude who's selling magazines.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say this part because I wrote that down
mad
too.
Funny dog. Because they're like, yo, he's like, yo, this is not even a real story. Like, I work at actually a competing company. He's like, wait, well, we just told you our whole plan. You gonna snitch? He's like, not if you buy some of these magazines. And then he goes, what am I gonna do with 40 subscriptions to Vibe? Which is,
I laughed out loud at that.
the funniest possible magazine that he could have said. It's such a great line.
That's a really good one.
Mike Judge was in his bag when he wrote this movie.
No, he really was. He really was. All right, you stole mine, so I guess it's time for our rewind ratings.
All right, I didn't realize that was a song, but maybe that's a episode 50 special. I'll let you go first.
Man, so what I kind of hinted at earlier was I've seen this movie before, probably most recently when I was in college. And I feel like you don't really get like how bad some offices can be until like you get older and work in offices. And then you watch this movie back and you're like, oh, like the feeling of like, you ever been in a job where like you just felt like, I just want to go home. Like the minute you park your car in the lot and you're sitting there and you're getting ready to get out of your car and you're just like, I just want to turn around and go back home.
Yeah.
Like I feel like most adults have been there at one point or another. And feeling that way.
Especially after sitting in traffic for an hour.
God.
Never
and like
mind.
Watching Peter go through it, it's like, I get it. I get what he's going through. Thank God I'm not there now, but I have been there. And it's very disheartening to be like, not only do I hate being here, but my boss is constantly writing me. It's like, bro, let me just do my work and get out of here. So I felt like watching it back this time, I definitely appreciated that part of it more. And I was able to, you know, empathize with what he was going through. And then when he kind of got hypnotized and was just kind of like, I don't care about any of this. It was like, oh yeah. Imagine what that would feel like to just not care about anything and just live your life. So yeah, I had a great time watching this. Yeah, there were a few lines that didn't really age well. But you know, I think with a comedy, you kind of forgive some of that.
I mean, there's usually going to be something that doesn't age well, which is kind of, you know, it's the 90s. Even like the joke about killing everybody, like that's something that would happen every once in a while in an office, but this is like,
but now
before it's like, you know, a thing.
Yeah, so it's like shootings are so rampant now.
Can't
it's
make
like
that
this
joke
is not
because
funny at all.
it's like a national crisis. So
they also make a joke about anorexia. They make a joke, which I mean, honestly, like back before we knew better, that joke would have been really funny.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like for the time, it worked. You know, the jokes landed. So for me, this is rare. I'm giving it a 5. It's rare. I'm giving it a 5.
A 5-star rating for the 50th episode.
I loved it.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that, like, I'll put it this way. Back in the days of yore, back before the days of, you know,
I mean the Chronicles of Narnia?
Back before the days of streaming enjoyment. There was a time when I used to collect DVDs. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those movies that I was like, I have to have this in my collection. Like, Office Space is a movie that it's going to have high replay value. It's going to be funny every time I watch it. It's a nice short hour and 25, hour and a half.
Yes.
Like, it hits what it needs to hit and it gets out of there. It doesn't drag. There's no, like, slow points, which a lot of comedy movies, like, they don't really know how to end funny. But I feel like it's funny all the way to the end, and it keeps your attention. And yeah, like I said, I've seen this movie multiple times. Every time I see it, I still laugh out loud. So it's also a 5 for me. Like, Office Space is phenomenal.
All right, y'all. Let us know your rewind rating of Office Space. Hit us up via email, rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. And then on social media, y'all know where to find us. Let us know what you think about this film. And also keep your requests coming. And I also wanted to add, y'all, get those reviews and ratings up. I feel like for a little bit we had like a nice little run where everybody was like leaving a review on Apple Pods and leaving a rating on Spotify. And then y'all kind of just stopped.
Oh, man.
And it made me really sad.
Yeah.
So,
that's no good.
You know, if y'all are liking this every week, you're enjoying it, listen to us like clockwork, just, you know, click those stars, hit that 5-star rating. It helps other people find our show. And
even if you don't
audience.
listen to us like clockwork, do it anyway.
If you enjoyed at least one episode, how about that? If you liked one episode, give that 5-star rating.
Yeah, just hail us up real quick.
And then, leave us a nice little review if you listen on Apple Podcasts. And, we really appreciate it. All right, any final words?
I don't think so.
All right, y'all. Well, later.
Adios.